Coco LaBon and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make turkey chili and a really easy homemade guacamole that you are going to love. So stay tuned. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Coco LaBon. I'm a little excited today because it's snowing, although this is our kind of second big snow in Virginia this year so far. And since it's snowing outside, there's going to be ice later. I'm not going anywhere today. So today I'm actually going to make turkey chili and guacamole. So I'm going to make two things today. And I will show you, here are my ingredients for the guacamole. It's going to be fairly simple. So I've got, of course, some fresh avocados here. I'm cheating with the cilantro. It's just so much easier to buy it in the tube, and then I can make more later. I don't have to chop any up. I'm also cheating a little bit with the lime sauce because I thought I had some fresh limes in the refrigerator, but I do not. I'm not going out in the snow to look for any. And then I've got a few diced tomatoes, some diced red onion, and garlic. And this will all go in the guacamole. I'll show you how I make that. I'm going to do the chili first. So I have quite a few ingredients here because I recently found out that I was allergic to beef, which was quite disturbing, and peanuts, and just a host of other things that I'll fill you in on later. So today I'm going to actually use, you can see the ground turkey here. I'm going to use that. And I'm going to add, my fresh ingredients are onion. You can use any kind of onion you want. That's about half an onion. Bell peppers. These are poblano peppers only because I had some left over from something else and I didn't want them to waste. And then this is fresh garlic. That's probably a couple of tablespoons. And then I'm also going to use a little bit of cayenne red pepper. I've got my chili powder. I am not using cumin because sometimes cumin has peanuts in it. So again, that's another thing that aggravates my allergy, so I'm not going to do that. I've got a can of diced tomatoes. Today I'm actually going to use a can of Great Northern beans. Normally I would use kidney beans, but I don't have any in the house, so I'm going to use the Great Northern beans. It's fine. I'm going to use a little bit of Old Bay seasoning, and really just for flavor. Once you bring it all together, it's so good. I've got ground black pepper. I've got, well, actually I have two things of chili powder, which the more the merrier, that's fine. I've got my bay leaves, of course, salt, a little bit of onion powder, and one of my secret ingredients will be just a little bit of liquid smoke, as well as a little bit of red hot sauce. That's all just for flavor. So you know, when you're cooking ground turkey in particular, you really want to amp up the flavor profile. So let me just get my fire going already. Because turkey can be a little bit dry, I did add just about a tablespoon of vegetable oil just in the middle of the pan. So I'm going to brown up my turkey meat first. And while that's browning, I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper just to start getting the meat flavored up. Now, I'm not measuring anything, so just bear with me on this. Probably a couple of teaspoons of salt. And the pepper, I'm just going to shake one here. And I'm going to just go ahead and just continue with seasoning the meat as it cooks. So a little bit of onion powder. We're going to end up adding a lot of chili powder, but I'm going to add a little bit now because I just want to get the meat really incorporated with all of these flavors. I'm just doing a touch of red pepper because I do not want it too hot. And also adding the chili powder, and some of the other things I'm going to add, especially like liquid smoke. It really helps it taste more like beef. I made this about a month ago, and I tell you, I could not tell the difference between, you know, it tasted like beef. But now, since I am allergic to beef, which is kind of new, I just have to find ways to be creative, because all I can basically eat now is chicken, pork, turkey, or fish. I cannot have shellfish anymore, which is disappointing. I'm hoping one day, you know, I can kind of reverse that, or maybe my body will readjust somehow. But right now, that's where we are. So, and as I'm sauteing this, I'm kind of breaking it up, but I still want nice big chunks for my chili, because, you know, that's always, it makes it so nice and meaty, which is fabulous. And you can see that's browning up rather nicely. And really, this only takes about a half hour or so. And this would probably feed about, I would say, 4 to 6 people by the time we're finished with it. So I'm adding a little bit of the liquid smoke. And now I'm going to go ahead, now that this is browned up pretty nicely, because it's going to cook a lot more with just the liquids, and I'm just going to kind of let it simmer for a little bit. So it doesn't need to be cooked all the way necessarily right now, but you want it fairly cooked through. So I'm going to go ahead and add got my onions, my bell peppers, my poblano peppers, and my garlic. And I'm just going to dump them all in here at the same time. Okay. It smells so good. Now to this, I'm going to add some water. Okay. I'm not sure how much water this is actually, but maybe about 3 or 4 cups of water in here. I'm going to stir that up. Why it's making that noise. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and get my chili powder in there. So I do want a fair amount of the chili powder in here, so I just removed the top of it so that I can just kind of put it in my hand. And this is probably going to be equivalent to about 3 or 4 tablespoons maybe. I just want to make sure I have the flavor that I want. And I can kind of tell by the color of the chili. That looks really good. Now, so I'm going to put my bay leaves in here also. These are so fragrant. I think I just need 1, so I'm just going to put like 1 in here. And one thing, when you're cooking with bay leaves, you just put it in there while you're cooking. Once you finish cooking, you want to take it out before you serve your food. Put this back up. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of my, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the bay seasoning as well, just to give it a little extra flavor. Now I'm not going to add my tomatoes and especially the great northern beans until the very end, because the beans are already cooked, so they just need to warm up, and I don't want them to get soggy. So I'm just going to add a few more extra spices just to Make sure it's flavored well. Now, just as a backup to, even though I put fresh garlic in here, I'm going to add, and I always get salt-free garlic, and I like garlic with garlic and herb in it. It just gives it that extra flavor. Okay. And a little bit of hot sauce. Because the hot sauce has that sort of vinegar flavor, you get that sort of brininess and a little bit of spiciness that just gives it more body. And it looks a little thin. I'm going to add a little bit of flour to this. I will show you how to do that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of flour just to thicken my chili a little bit. So I've got maybe a couple of teaspoons of flour in here. I'm just going to add a little water to it. Stir it up, make a little bit of a paste. Make sure it's mixed really well. And it just makes like a thick sort of paste. So this is going to act as a thickener for the chili. So it's starting to cook now. Okay, so what I'm going to add, I'm going to go ahead and add my little flour mixture. I just want to make sure there's no lumps in it. And hopefully I will only have to do this one time. And then I'm just going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so. Oh, let me just show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm adding this to thicken it, to thicken the broth. That should do it. And I'm going to just turn the heat down and let it cook for about maybe 20 minutes or so. I'm going to go ahead and add the tomatoes now so that the flavor of the tomatoes can go ahead and start incorporating with the chili. Oh, it's a nice big pot now. Okay. So I'm going to let this cook for about 20 minutes and then I'll come back and add the beans. Be right back. Okay, so while my chili is cooking, I'm going to show you how to make how I make guacamole. So I've got a avocado here, and if you've never handled one of these, I'll show you the easy way to open it. So I love these. Oops, I can never pronounce it. Sonotu knives. It's like a Japanese knife. You want to take it around the avocado slowly because there's a big round seed in the middle of it. So if you do that, and you always want to get avocado that is slightly soft, you know, it gives a little bit. You don't want a rock hard avocado. So when you open it, this is how it looks, okay? So I'm going to put that one side down because I do want to get the seed out. Now you have to be careful with this, but what you want to do is get that seed. Let me do that again. You want to be careful with this, but what you want to do is get the knife in that seed, and you see most of the time you will be able to just twist out the seed. Now, once you have the seed out, you can just scoop out the inside of the avocado. It should be fairly soft. And I love avocados. They always say it has fat, but it's a good fat. So it's okay. A lot of people like, you hear about avocado toast all the time. I haven't done that yet, but sometimes I just slice it up and eat it with a little bit of salt. But it really works well with garlic. So I'm going to do 4 of these, and then I will show you, you can see it there, and then I'll show you how I put it all together. Okay, now my chili is just about ready. I'm going to go ahead and add my can of Great Northern beans. And because there is also starch in the beans, this will help thicken up the chili. Oh, that's looking pretty good. You see the chunks of tomatoes and poblano peppers and bell peppers and nice, because of the way I sauteed the ground turkey, you can see nice big chunks of turkey, and that's what you want. I'm going to let that go maybe another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll see the finished product. Okay. I've actually scooped out 3 avocados, which actually is quite a bit, so I'm not going to use the 4th one for my guacamole. I'm going to use it later for something else. And I like to get the guacamole kind of mashed up first, and I tell you, this is a trick that I have figured out. A potato masher is like the best thing for mashing up avocados quickly. So that's what I'm using. Oh, I think I have a piece of a skin in there. Okay. It just works so much better. And it's the fastest way. So if you want it chunky, you just kind of want to mash it a few times and be done with it. If you want it creamier, you can just keep going. Just get it to the consistency that you like. I kind of like it halfway in between. So about here. And then to this, I'm going to go ahead and add my salt now, because you want to make sure that avocado is well salted. Again, you have to do this to taste, so I think that's good to go. And before I put my other ingredients in, I want to get that mixed in, get the salt mixed in. So the cilantro, I definitely like cilantro. If you don't, you can leave it out. But I want a fair amount. Okay, I think that's enough. That's probably a couple of tablespoons worth. Let's see if that'll work. Uh-oh. That is my timer for my chili, so I'm just going to stir it a little bit. Of course, I've got it cooking right alongside the avocado. Let me make sure that's off. Okay. To this, I'm really done with the potato masher, so let me just switch to a spoon. Okay. And you can see it's pretty smooth. This is a nice big thing of guacamole, but this will definitely last me a couple of days. So I have my red onions, my tomatoes, my garlic. I'm just going to dump them all in. Mix them up. If you don't want tomatoes, you put in what you want. But I tell you, red onion always adds a nice little kick to anything. Wow. Oh my God. I do need some more lime juice, but I tell you what, that red onion that fresh red onion in there just sets it on another level. Oh my God, that is amazing. And one thing I love to do with avocado, I will eat a scoop of this for breakfast. You know, maybe on top of an egg, maybe next to my sausage or bacon or whatever, just like a side dish. It's just like mashed potatoes. It actually makes a really nice side dish. I've eaten it many times, you know, especially with like fresh fish. Just put a scoop of it on top of the fish or next to the fish, and it's amazing. So this is done. This is done, and it's fantastic. Guys, I have been simmering my chili for about 30 minutes, and that allowed it time to thicken up, especially once I added the Great Northern bean. So you can see now it's really thick. I tasted it. It tastes perfect. You cannot tell the difference between this and, well, maybe you can, but it's very similar to beef chili as far as the flavor. You really don't miss the beef in this chili because of all the seasonings I added. So I'm going to put a little bit in a bowl because frankly, I'm ready to eat. It's snowing outside. I'm snowed in. I'm hungry. And, you know, chili is one of those things that, you know, day 2, it'll taste even better, right? You know, once those flavors have time to party with each other, and it just will be so amazing. So I'm going to make a nice, decent bowl of it here. I think I will add a little bit of cracker to it. Add a little bit. I like wheat crackers, so I'll add a little bit of that. Mix that up. And that just adds a little more thickness to the chili. And then on top of that, because this is what I like to do sometimes, I'm going to add a dollop of my guacamole. And guys, that is it for another episode of Cooking with Coco LaBon. Please hit the subscribe button to follow me for more recipes. I have about 6 or 7 recipes out there now. I'm always doing more and more all the time. So if you like to cook, you want to learn new things to cook, you know, just some different techniques, please hit the subscribe button. You can also follow me on Instagram. I have a Facebook page, a Coco LaBon Facebook page, and I also have a Twitter page. And that will tell you a little bit more about my children's books that I have. I have 3 children's books on Amazon. So please subscribe. Please follow me to find out more information about not just cooking, but my children's books as well. Thank you for joining me. See you guys later.